Trisha, thank you so much for being with us today. Always happy to have the chance to talk with you. And would you be able to talk to me a little bit about why you're so passionate about the kind of coaching that you do?
Sure. So what I've really enjoyed working with Fortuna clients so far has been hearing people's stories. Everyone has really unique stories, and we all have the same goal, which is to make an impact, go to business school, and continue making that impact post MBA. But we all have a different journey of getting there, and I've really enjoyed and gotten very invested in my clients as I hear more about all of the great things that they want to do and the experiences that they've had. So I just get really connected to their stories, and it's a really personal process for everyone. You're telling your story from start to finish and putting it out there for someone to read it. And that can be a really challenging experience for a lot of people. So getting that comfort level with my clients and building that connection has always really driven me to continue to do this work.
What do you think would be your coaching superpower? Something
Um,
that you're bringing to your interaction with your students?
Sure. So I have a background in tech. I worked at IBM first, and then I've worked at Google. And interview questions can be really ambiguous, as well as essay questions. And one thing that we learn in the tech industry is to navigate the ambiguous.
Mhm.
So I think my coaching superpower is simplification. Taking those complex questions, or even a simple question that can seem difficult because it's so similar to another schools, and really getting down to what the main point of that question is, and then going through your story and what is the main point of your story that connects to that point, making sure that that is a simple, clear, and concise message that really resonates with the question.
I know that you've had some great experiences working with your students. Can you share something with us, a story, an interaction, an engagement that you felt was particularly resonant?
Sure. I had a client recently who isn't necessarily super open about sharing their story. They've had some, challenging times and adverse experiences, but the AdComs committee wants to really see those points about what built you and what made you a unique person, what makes you memorable and driven to make an impact post MBA. So I felt really successful just making that connection personally with my client to
Mhm.
get them to tell that story. Again, this is a personal experience, getting clients to really be introspective about what makes them unique and sharing that, being open to sharing that. So for me, that is really successful, and fingers crossed that we've been able to convey that successfully.
If you had to give some advice to prospective students that are preparing for their MBA applications, what do you think is something that you would share with them?
Sure. I think the AdComs committee, sorry, the AdCom really wants to make sure that when you're in a networking event, that you are not only great, that you can convey that you have skills that will make you successful in that role, but that you can stand out from other MBAs. You'll be
Mhm.
in these networking rooms with a lot of other MBA candidates, hundreds, who are vying for some of those same roles that you really desire. So the first step is to be memorable to the person reading your application. So think about more than just what do you want to do post MBA and why would you be successful based on the skills that you have, but also what experiences have you had that are unique and make you you, that lead into those skills and show that not only will you be able to be great in those roles and you can learn during your MBA those skills that you may need, but also will you stand out in that room and will you be memorable?
So, Trisha, I know that you have your MBA.
Mhm.
I know it's hard to encapsulate that experience briefly. It's a crazy thing because it's a wonderful 2-year plus experience. What are some of the takeaways for you from your experience at NYU?
I think there are two main things that I really like to tell clients about my experience. First is it's really easy to think forward about what you're going to do post MBA, but you don't want to forget that you are there for 2 years and there are a lot of things available to you from an education standpoint. we're all thinking about, the degree and how that will help us succeed post MBA, but there are clubs and there are classes that are interesting and may not necessarily even be related to that role on the surface. If you're going into banking, maybe you want to take a tech course because you may not have an opportunity to go to school again. So number one, I think, is take advantage of the resources that you have while you're getting your MBA. Second, the thing that I think I've most valued post MBA is the network that I've built there. And it goes beyond just the fellow students that I went through my MBA with, but also the faculty and the different departments. I went to NYU Stern, and they had such a friendly coaching department for career. And when we're going through a really challenging time, like a worldwide pandemic, that having that resource and that support and people who know you and have met you while you were at your MBA was invaluable to me. And just on a support level, having those peers that I've really built connections with and who are also going through a lot of the similar things in their own industries is really important from a support perspective and also just from a strategic perspective, thinking about how can we learn from each other in our recruiting experiences to be successful during a difficult time like this.
Trisha, thank you so much. Such a pleasure to talk with you. I look forward to seeing you soon, and I appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.